Sunday, March 23rd, and the Dome Foamers podcast is back. And I'm your host, Christian Krueger. As always, joined by Neal Majewski and Brian Dorton. And we're just lifelong Astros fans that love to talk about the Stros. So, boys, let's go. Episode 75, known as the Chris Rodriguez episode. I'll make sure and tag him, an old Flyer buddy of ours.
Yes, sir.
So here we are, 75 episodes. We are back. The season starts in 4 days, 5 days. Starts Thursday.
Today's Sunday.
Starts Thursday, so 4 days ish. We have baseball. We have Astros baseball, and first off, Mieski, how you doing? How getting through spring break? How are you?
Yeah, we're live. We're kicking and hitting the home stretch on the school side of things, and gearing up for some spring and roll on into the summer. How about y'all?
Good. In the spring break as well. Home stretch, no doubt. Our fearless leprechaun is rodeoing for his birthday extravaganza. He had his birthday. He's old, and so
old.
he might join us if he gets home in time off of rodeoing and doing riding bulls, I guess is what he's doing right now. I'm sure.
Yeah, tonight was his night to
shine. To shine.
Well, it's mutton busting. I think he was riding one of those. That poor whatever mutton.
Our leprechaun cowboy that he has been.
Yeah,
so hopefully he'll join us, but we're going to get right into the roster. The final decisions will be on Wednesday. They play on Thursday. They have put some notes out there that we've obviously shared. We'll get into that. We'll get into. There's only a couple spots left. Where do you want to start?
Do you want to? Let's go pitchers first.
Okay.
I mean, it's not as. I mean, I guess that is the. I don't know. It's all
the pitchers are almost announced fully. I think I want to say one spot available. So let's go through that. I have a list here that I put down.
I've got one too. It's halfway done, I guess. Need some touching up.
So here's what we know. Joe Espada announced that they have told some people that are going to be on the team and some that are not. So here's what we know. We know Fromber, Hunter Brown, Spencer Arrighetti, Ronel Blanco, and Hayden Wesneski, related to Neal Majewski, are going to be the likely starting fives to start. I would assume at some point they go to 6, but we got to figure out who that 6th person is, and we don't know that yet.
That was going to be a question, but go ahead. Okay. I mean, I'm with you on 5.
Then you have Abreu Hader.
Yep.
Taylor Scott, who had a good year last year. Hopefully he can do it again. And then Steven Okert, a lefty, Brian King, a lefty, Luis Contreras, and Rafael Montero have all been told they are making the team.
Okay.
So
time out for a second. Hader, Abreu, Scott. Then talk to me. Who was the other one?
So those are 3 spots that are filled, and then Okert and King, 2 lefties, have been told they're making the team. Montero and Contreras also have been told they're making the team.
So is Dubin, where's he at in this?
He's hurt. He got hurt.
Okay, him and Ort are both hurt.
And Forrest Whitley.
Well, yes. I've got him. That's odd.
Yeah. They're going to start the year on the IL. Shocked, stunned. Here's my shocked face.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. So King, Contreras, and then I'm still missing one. Okert.
Well, there's one.
Montero. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, and then Luis Contreras, and there's still a spot. I think it should go to Ryan Gusto, who had a really good year last year in AAA. They had him come up to pitch that final game, kind of as a reward that got canceled because we didn't need it. He's a swing guy. He's probably a guy that can throw you 2-3 innings, spot start if you need to. Again, not much experience, has really done really well in the farm system. Probably the safest bet Um, but there's a couple of other directions they could go. I thought Logan Van Way, who pitched really well, had a shot. He was told that he's going to start in AAA. He had a great spring, but that's fine. He'll be up at some point, to relieve.
Hmm.
My prediction is it's probably going to be Gusto. Um,
He's the one
first time in forever we have three lefties in the bullpen.
odd.
Hmm.
Uh, and not that this makes him worthy of it, but what a great story, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
That was if you hadn't looked it up, it's worth a read.
It is, and what Neil's referring to is a story came out about him being cut multiple times from his high school team, his college team. Then he couldn't find a place to go and just developed and battled through. And it is something worth reading. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we're all like Gusto fans.
Yeah.
Um, I hope hopefully he makes the team, and hopefully he's the last pitcher on the roster. And I would love to see him get some spot starts and see what he's got. So are you fair? You that has not been announced, by the way. The
Yeah.
one that's the only spot that's available on the pitching staff. Likely. Are you good there? You want to move on to infielders?
I want to get your take on
Okay, go
seventh
ahead.
seventh inning guy. Is that something that's going to be developed over time?
Yeah,
Is
yeah. I would think first man up is Taylor Scott.
yeah,
I always have a issue with a reliever doing really well one year and then having can he bounce? Can he duplicate it?
sure.
Um, I think you will throw lefties in there if you've got a bunch of lefty matchups, hitters. So you got some flexibility there. I'm very intrigued by Stephen Okart.
Yeah.
Um, I as someone calls me as we're on this thing. But sorry about that. I want to see what he's got. I think he's got some good stuff. Um,
What do
but
you what okay, I'm with you. That was question one, I guess. Question two is what I don't even know what the real question is, but Montero.
yeah, I'm not. I figured you were going to ask it because we've bashed the guy, rightfully so. Not a huge fan of him being on the roster. He was awful last year to the point where he got DFA'd and no one picked him up because of his salary. The
Yeah,
guy's got a good arm, but it's
sure.
just he was nowhere where he was 2 years ago. I'm sure they see the arm and they're giving him another chance. I guarantee you it'll be a very short leash.
Yeah.
You're probably saying, "Hey, fresh arm, live arm. Let's see if he can recap what he did 2 years ago."
Yeah.
I would have went another direction just because I think he's damaged goods, but hey, go out there and prove me wrong, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing, or the Astros ultimately have nothing to lose, and neither does he.
Just $11 million.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the
Yeah.
hole that we're in. If you get almost anything out of him, it's better than him not being on the team. I mean, especially early on, give him a chance and see what where at shakes out. But that was pitching wise, I'm with you. And then like you said, the six pitcher. That'll be, if we go a six-man rotation,
It'll be by committee for a while.
yeah.
My
Mm,
my concern with the pitching staff is the same thing we've talked about before. I don't see a true number one. We know Fromber can sometimes throw like one, but he can also throw like a five sometimes and have his meltdowns. I mean, but
sure.
Fromber to me has always been a two. He's been a really good two.
Yeah, fringe for
You
sure.
need Hunter Brown to step up. You need Aaron Getty to step up like they did last year at the end. What's
Yep.
Blanco going to be after all those innings? Hayden was Nesky. What's he going to be?
Yep. Oh, there's
Um,
there's some unprovenness or
you've got
statements
you,
that need
you
to be made.
you've got Luis Garcia who's been shut down, who's probably toast. We know the coffee salesman's throwing, but that's as far as I'm going to spend any time on him.
Boy, I'm excited.
Um, yeah, um, I know you are. And then Javier, you're probably looking at the back end of the year for him.
Yeah, the
So, I
JP
mean,
JP France. I'd hurt.
he's going on the 60 days. He's not anywhere near ready or
Yeah.
going to be ready. So
All right.
that's the issue is the depth and what
Yeah.
happens when someone gets hurt. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, we're already I mean, we're in it. We are hurt. I mean,
Well, I
again,
also think that's why you bring Gusto up. is, in the event that someone gets hurt or you need a spot start, you've got him already up here.
Yeah.
You've got Colton Gordon that'll be down there. You've got Logan Van Way, who else you mentioned, who could be a bullpen help. You've got Ethan Pecco, who's probably a guy on the cusp. You've got AJ Bloombaugh.
Yeah.
All these guys are guys that you're probably going to see up and down multiple times.
Yeah.
Um, I don't love the pitching staff, but hey, let's go see if they can. This is what I guess before we move on. This is what I was afraid of: is you're going to start seeing very little depth. And this is why going back to last season, I was like, hey, let's reset 25.
Yeah.
And because we have a ton of money that falls off the books this year. So then you go find a number one, a solid number one to pay. And at the same time, and if we fall out of contention, that might be the case
Sure.
because Fromber's going to be very valuable, even though he's only under control for the end of the year. I mean,
Oh,
he could,
a lefty that's
yes.
proven. Come on. Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, obviously, I don't want us to fall out of contention, but it's a very skinny. You're walking down a very slippery slope with the depth of this pitching staff.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in Renel Blanco last year essentially came out of nowhere in the first half,
Hmm.
and then was I would say still definitely reliable, consistent, solid second half. But uh, prior to last year, it wasn't like Renel Blanco was, you know, the guy that we were going to count on to go whatever
Right.
13 and or 13 and whatever he ended up. But so you
Well, then
said
you worry about all the ends he threw. How's he going to bounce back?
sure, sure. Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, Fromber, Hunter, Spencer, again, Spencer, this is sophomore year. What does that look like? Is that any better? Does he start off? Does he have the sophomore slump that Hunter had last year and then dug himself out? So there's no doubt. There's question marks in that starting rotation. I mean, Hayden Wisniewski, I don't know that I've seen him pitch ever. So I mean, whatever. I mean, this is we've got some question marks to say the least. So yeah, I agree. And then the back end as far as the relief, yeah, I mean, you got Hader and Abreu who you love, and then you go down that list of everybody else, and again, consistency wise, yet to be determined.
Well, look, look. Let's be real. Hater needs to be better.
Oh my gosh, yes,
I
yes,
mean,
agree.
so there's a lot of question marks. Um,
All right.
we'll see. We'll know for officially Wednesday, and then let's move on to infielders. Infielders is pretty easy, especially with what was announced today. So Christian Walker obviously be at first base. You've got Pena at short,
Wait,
Isak
who?
per.
Okay, let's talk about all first basemen. You said it was solidified today. I mean,
Yeah, we'll get to there. We'll get
okay,
to there. Don't
okay.
let me don't
I'm
let me
gonna,
throw my party. Don't let me throw my
okay,
party yet. Okay.
okay. So starters here. We're not going depth wise yet.
Yeah. So you're gonna have Christian Walker, Jeremy Pena, Isak Paredes, Marsu, Mauricio Dorton Dubon, and then Luis Guillermi. And yes, I butchered that, I'm sure, who I thought actually left-handed bat hit really well this spring, could play short, second, and third. I thought he was going to make the team, and he was told he's not. So either he has to be waived or he has to take an assignment to Sugarland, which he could. And Brendan Rodgers is going to be the starting second baseman. Um,
You think Brendan Rodgers starts, or do you think Dubon starts? And
I
and
think Brendan Rodgers is going to give every opportunity to be the starting second baseman. I don't know if I answered your question, but
do you
I
think
mean
he's?
Dubon could start the first series, sure, but I don't think that's where Dubon's staying because he's so valuable everywhere else.
Yeah, I guess in my mind, I think
I mean, your
Dubon's.
point is your point's valid, but I mean, the second there's any kind of injury in the outfield or the infield, that I mean, he's being moved. So
Yeah.
Brendan
No.
Rodgers was a high draft pick by the Colorado Rockies. Had a couple of decent years, nothing special. Um, I thought they would go with the left-handed bat of, I call him LG, because he hit pretty well in the spring. And again, we know it's a spring, right? But
Yep.
they're going to give Brendan Rodgers every opportunity to be the everyday second baseman. And with that being said, they DFA'd, or I guess they still have to make the decision, but it was told that John Singleton's run on the Astros is over. Just a year too late, but still,
I mean, are you okay?
I'm going to celebrate. They finally come to the realization that he was a waste of space on not just the 40-man roster, but also the 26-man roster.
But you're doing okay. I mean, you're
I'm
not
doing okay. I'm
okay.
gonna somehow fight through,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
Okay.
be able to survive this year without seeing him bat flip at a ball that lands short of the warning track.
Man, I just what sucks is there's somebody lingering around that's fixing to take his place in your eyes. I mean,
I
what
mean,
was
my,
the
my punching bag.
yeah, I mean, you had I don't even want to say his name, the guy that was there.
Don't don't
Like
don't don't start the season that don't start the season that way.
I mean, it just
Yeah,
rolls, you know.
yeah.
And so I'm curious to know who the
You
next
want to know who that person's going to be?
yeah, I do. I do. Do you
I
know
I I
already?
I have a candidate. We'll get to it.
And it can't be Jake Myers because you love Chas
Th-
McCormick, and Jake Myers is as good as bad as McCormick. And we'll get to the
That's
outfielder too.
not. Yeah, that's not true. That's not true.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay,
Okay.
good.
Any questions on the infield?
Uh, you're gonna go to catcher next.
Well, I mean, no real surprises other than, and it's not a huge surprise. I just thought they needed another left-handed bat, and LG did hit well in the spring. What much better than Brendan Rodgers, by the way.
Yeah.
And so I thought that they would, and plus he's got versatility. He can play short and spell Pena, and he can play third. Little surprised on that. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe he just goes to Sugarland and comes back up. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you said it earlier. I think Brendan Rodgers gets a chance. Again, it's not. I don't think the Astros invested too much necessarily in him. So if they can buy some time, even or see what this because Brendan Rodgers is still fairly young. I mean, he's approaching. I think he's 28. I think I read somewheres, and so not worth just giving up completely on him, giving him another chance in another town. Uh, but I think you said it too earlier. I don't think there's much time. I don't know how long they ride him with Guillermo.
no, no, and I know this is the one plan that I see what they're doing. I don't agree with, I don't understand a lot of things that they're doing, but Bryce Matthews is going to be the second baseman next year if he can cut down on strikeouts.
Yeah.
So this is a huge year for him. I'm not saying he should be. I mean, he needs to go have a really good year in AAA. He needs to cut down on the Ks. Super athletic.
Yeah.
He's got power, but that's where this whole Altuve thing came
Okay.
from. Is his defensive metrics are declining. His bat's not. So let's see if we can save as much as we can from the bat and move him to a fairly easy position, which it has not looked good, by the way.
I didn't know
Um,
when we wanted to talk about that, but
it's coming, but what they're doing exactly what you said is they're trying to get through this year
yeah.
and hoping Bryce Matthews takes another step, cuts down on the K's, and is the starting second baseman next year.
Yeah, because you're going to have Christian Walker, potentially Bryce Matthews, probably Pena, and then Paredes at third, and
Hmm.
Diaz still catching for you. Uh, I guess. I mean, let's transition, I guess, to the outfield real fast.
Yeah,
But
because catchers and DH are going to be easy, right?
yeah, I
So
mean,
so
Diaz
outfield.
Diaz and
And by the way,
Caratini,
this is none of
right?
this is official. I just want to stress that. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you what the Astros have broke. So it's kind of easy to start putting the pieces together. The outfield is where the questions really exist.
yeah,
Obviously, Altuve is going to be in left. Jake Myers is going to be in center, and then here comes the fun stuff. So my prediction, and we'll get into what I think. I mean, we'll get into my prediction is Cam Smith has earned his right because he is that much of a hit tool and power tool and athlete that he should be the starting right fielder. You're going to hear people say, "Oh, they buys him another year if he waits 2 weeks," and let him work the outfield in the minors for a month and bring him up. Why? The guy's been the best story of the spring. We need another power bat. He's gonna struggle. He's a kid. He's 22. This is the 14th round pick of the draft last year that the Cubs drafted that traded us when we traded Tucker. The kid, just let him figure it out. I mean, coach him up. You're not going to ruin him. He seems like he's got his head on straight. We don't know that officially, but he seems like an athlete. He's the best right-handed power we got, with the exception of maybe Diaz. Well, Christian Walker can too, but you need another guy that can run and hit. He was a shortstop his entire life until he got to Florida State. He kind of grew out of it, and they moved him to third base. He's got a great arm. He can run a little bit. If it's a disaster, you always can move him down. I don't think it's going to be. He's got a really short, compact swing. He's going to struggle, but he's also going to hit some freaking tanks.
Yeah.
And frankly, this team needs more offense.
Then, yes, I would say I'm not. I'm not sure about the second base defensively. Pena, I'm
Sure.
we're not amazing, but I'm with you. Like, if there's a bigger concern,
Well,
I
I
would
can tell you
agree.
this: if
I would
he did the
agree.
same, if he did the same numbers that he did over the spring and had the same at bats, and he was left-handed, this would be a no-brainer.
I'm gonna, and not for the sake of arguing, I'm pretty convinced that he's not going to start in with the club, and here's why.
Really?
Here's
Okay.
ultimately, I mean, I agree with you in the fact that tremendous spring, tremendous talent, above and beyond anything I thought Cam Smith would be at this stage. The one thing that I can't get over the hump is, who was the last guy that we've ever had a situation like this, a young guy, unproven, that has been called up and started with the Astros?
Yeah, they don't do it.
They don't do it, and that's my point. I get
Dana Brown does.
okay,
Dana
and I
Brown's got a
get
history of doing
it's.
it.
I was gonna say I get it's a different regime. Um, Prove me wrong, I guess. And agree, again, I agree with the fact that his talent and what he's produced has deserved the chance or the opportunity. I just don't know that they do it. Again,
So, who do you
going on
think they're going to
history.
start? Who do you think they're going to start in right field? And
Oh,
if you
you're
don't think they're going to do it, you think it's going to be Chaz?
yeah, it's your twin brother. Yeah,
I love Chaz. You know that Chaz
yeah.
had a great year 2 years ago. Had an awful year last year. I mean, it is what it is. You can't start Chaz and Jake in the same outfield. You physically, they're the same player.
They
You
are.
can't. One's faster and one has a little more pop. You cannot start them both in the lineup. You can't. You can't do it.
It's offensively atrocious,
Atrocious.
but I'm just telling you, my
I
mind
don't
is
think. I don't think they're playing. I don't think they're prepping Dezenzo, who, by the way, had even a better spring than Cam Smith.
yeah,
I think he's going to make the team, and I just don't think he's going to be as a right fielder. I think he's a first base, left field slash hot bat. Put him in there to
yeah,
hit whatever. I
yeah.
so I think Cam Smith makes the team. I think Dezenzo makes the team. I think Chaz McCormick makes the team. I just don't think you can put McCormick and Myers in the same outfield and in that lineup. You just
So, so
it,
does
it's
Trent, who's your other outfielder?
those are my five outfielders: Altuve, Myers, Smith, Dezenzo, and McCormick.
Okay, if Smith doesn't, is it Trammell?
No, he's hurt.
Oh,
It's
good.
probably It's probably Cooper Hummel.
Hummel. Yeah, I saw his name today, actually.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're not going to put Cam Smith in the lineup, you're going to put Cooper Hummel. Like, you're just putting another Jag with two other Jags. And I mean, Myers has his defensive prowess. I get it. He can't throw 90 feet. We get it. He can run down a ball. Great. He'll hit 220. Awesome. What is Chad's going to be? Is Chad's going to be closer to 2023 Chaz or closer to 2024 Chaz? We don't know.
Yeah.
He could go either way.
Gosh, we need 2022 Chaz.
Or 23 Chaz, you mean?
Or
We need
yes.
23 Chaz.
Yes. Yeah.
And somewhere in the middle, those two is not the worst thing, but that's a fourth outfielder. That's not a everyday starter.
Yeah. You know,
So I think Cam Smith. I think he's going to make. I think he's going to start in right field.
I hope you're right. What's the latest? And I have heard nothing, which is not necessarily great news, but Pedro Leon.
Hurt.
I have not. That's why I hadn't heard nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, he's hurt. And you can just pencil in Jag next to that guy too.
Well, we're this was the exchange, though. I mean, this was the exchange, and I mean,
well, let me tell you something. Without knowing what Hayden Wesneski's going to do,
yeah,
and without knowing whoever the third guy was, I know we talked about him when it happened. It's a lottery pick pitcher or whatever. I think whatever. I'm 1,000,000% on board with this Kyle Tucker trade because
absolutely.
we're not tied to $300+ million, and Cam Smith, even if he struggles this year, he looks like he is. You can always move him back to third, and move Paredes to second. I mean, there's so many things. I personally think he's going to hit. I personally think he's going to be in the running for the Rookie of the Year. Am I getting ahead of myself? Maybe, but he has a short, compact swing, and man, you don't go from Florida State with a metal aluminum bat to single A and double A ball and hit 321 your first year with a wooden bat and hit 7 bombs in like 25 games. The guy's got talent. He was the 14th overall pick.
For sure. Again, not one for 1 second doubting ability or any of that. The reason I still stick to the fact that I'm not convinced he's going to be there is because of the organization's history.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I again, I hope you're right.
I think he's earned it.
It's a tough call, though. I mean,
it would be if we didn't have Jags. We have Jags.
It's rough. It's rough. I mean, and you're talking about defensively really bad. No, it's not really bad because Chaz and Myers are pretty damn good. Altuve scares the ever living.
Altuve does not look good in left field. It does not look good.
Oh, and so I mean, are we just eating this? Is that what we're like? So okay, for the common listener, which a lot of times I'm a common fan.
Right.
We heard of Altuve going to left field when it was talked about Bregman keeping Bregman around. That was my understanding of what's going on. Well, then all of a sudden he's still playing left, right? We don't get Bregman, and which was great. I got no problems with that. Why? I mean, is it because our outfield's that rotten? Well, guess what? It's not like, I mean, defensively, this could be like embarrassing bad. Like I'm afraid of that.
Yeah. So the defensive metrics for Altuve are they're in second base are not great. They're not good at all.
I get that.
They are declining at a rapid pace. So I understand that. I don't know why. Like, why wasn't this a gradual thing, and all of a sudden all right, so we're going to re-sign Bregman, which we said on this podcast that was Bregman was never going to sign. Yeah.
Okay.
So then you could have Paredes at second, and then Altuve in left. Well, now Bregman's not here. Because you may tell you the lineup that I really like.
Yeah.
Is you keep Paredes at third, you leave Altuve at second for one more year. You have Dezenzo at left, and you have Cam Smith and right, who've been your best two hitters in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And if one struggles, you can always make changes, moves, so forth, right? But like, if you're asking me, and I know, and defense does matter, and I'm a big defense pitching guy. I mean, I teach it to my teams, my kids' teams. So I
Yeah.
don't want you to think that I'm like pro, just bang and offense and all that stuff.
No,
I'm
I'm
pro
with you.
defense. But like with my eyes, Decenzo and Cam Smith are two of our top 9 hitters on the team right now on the roster.
Well,
Okay. So
obviously
Jake
from the
Smith.
spring. I mean, there's no
Well,
doubt
and you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Like
have to.
yeah, I mean, the first month they can be hitting 180, and then we're like, but you already got a defensive player in center. He's not known for his offense.
Yep.
Okay. And he's just known for chasing balls down, and he does a great job. All the metrics support that. He has no arm whatsoever.
Wait, who doesn't?
Jake Myers, he has no arm whatsoever. Now, chasing balls down, he is pro. He's one of the top 5, 6, 7 guys in the league.
Right.
Okay. So I'm okay with that in center field. You can't keep putting holes in the lineup, though. We don't know if Brendan Rodgers is going to hit. That's why I thought Luis Guillamy I would like him to have opportunity to be in a left-handed bat, and I think he's more of a hitter than he is than Rodgers. We'll see. Rodgers could start off hotter than a firecracker, we hope, right?
Sure.
You've got Pena, who's defensive, is streaky, right? But we know he has his limitations. So I don't what Altuve is. Keep him there one more year. Hope the same thing for Bryce Matthews. And now you have Dezenzo and Cam Smith at the corners with Jake Myers in the middle. And then you can spell those guys with McCormick. You can spell those guys with Dubon. You can spell those guys, however you need to. And it just, I don't know. I don't agree with, okay, Bregman didn't re-sign, so let's still do the left field thing with Altuve. Now, that's probably that's probably a podcast in its own.
Yeah. Right.
But it's just like we went all in, and I don't know that we had to go all in.
Right. It's kind of where I'm at. Like it just went from like nothing to everything in a hurry. And
Well, now if Cam Smith does make the team, you've got a player learning a new position in right, and then you have him in left.
right.
Dezenzo has played hardly any right. Now, if you can play left, you can probably play right. It's just,
Yeah, I'm with you. But we're also talking about Dezenzo like he's an all-star.
yeah, he's not proven.
Yeah. I mean, I understand he's had a great spring, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mean to, I mean, I'm a fan of Dezenzo. I am. I think there's something about him that I don't know. I like, I think he's got a chance, but it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. And that outfield it's just so hodgepodge. Like
It's not major league level.
no, it's gross. And I don't know. And there's not like there's some great answers. I mean,
Well, that's the deal, is there's not. So that's why I think Cam Smith's going to be on the roster.
yeah. I I think eventually, obviously, I think eventually he's there. He's there. So
We'll know officially Wednesday. I hope
yeah,
he's there.
it's gonna
I
be
hope
interesting.
they I hope they say, look, let's roll the dice. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what we can get out of him. Let's see if lightning strikes for a little while. Let's watch him struggle. Let's watch him adjust. I mean, let's see, because honestly, he's learning a new position, but he's 22 years old and he seems fairly athletic. I'm worried less about him than I am left field.
Yeah.
I mean, it has not looked good.
It's I feel awful for Altuve. I feel bad because I just don't want him to be I don't want him to be embarrassed.
He's a Hall
Uh,
of Fame second baseman if he never plays another game right now.
correct.
And now
And
we're just, hey,
give this a shot, bud. I mean,
and look, a lot of that is for his bat. We know that, right? His
oh yeah,
offensive capability, but
yeah,
still.
yeah. So okay, so you're saying Alvarez, McCormick, Myers, Altuve, and
And
then
so, and then,
you got Dubon too to play there some.
yep. And then, if Cam Smith doesn't make the team, I think it's Cooper Hummel.
Yeah,
And let's just all throw a big Cooper Hummel party because I'm excited about that.
yeah. You would be.
Yeah.
That's a guy that fires you up in a hurry.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
catchers obviously are Diaz and Caratini. DH is Jordan. We went through this whole 45 minutes without mentioning Jordan yet.
yeah,
We got to have a healthy Hammer and Jordan Alvarez. I don't know what you do about Caratini because he's your only other left-handed bat and he's your backup catcher. I mean, he's a switch hitter, but he's much better hitter left-handed. You would think they're going to try to get him in some just to be a left-handed bat, but that's a gamble when you're only carrying two catchers, as we all have documented
yeah,
before.
yeah. That's a that's a weird deal. Um, that's where your guy Singleton came in clutch all the time for us.
Yep, bat flipping to the short of the warning track.
Oh,
He
mercy.
hit, by the way, Singleton hit 170 something in spring training.
That's weird.
Yeah, shocker.
What
Yeah.
any idea on what Cam Smith's number would be?
You know me, I'm a nerd like that too. I've wondered.
Yeah. That'd be
Dezenzo's 9. I don't know. You know what? What's Brendan Rodgers?
So I read a deal a couple weeks ago on Brendan Rodgers when he signed, because he kind of signed a little bit late,
Hmm.
like he's 60 something right now or something crazy.
Yeah,
Just
he
because
won't be. Yeah.
no, I know, but you know what number he used to be?
What?
7.
Well, that ain't happening.
That ain't happening. So he found that out, of course, and
Well, did you see where Christian Walker had to change his number?
no. What was he?
So when he signed, he wore 52 for the Diamondbacks. He signed. Obviously, that's Brian Abreu.
Ah,
When he signed 13. Well, Billy Wagner goes into the Hall of Fame. So
nope.
13's gone. So I think Christian Walker is changed his number to number 8.
Let's see if they have anything
And it
in.
won't be but yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting what
It says
can I
8.
think
Christian
yeah,
Walker, number 8.
I saw him when Billy Wagner made when you did his press conference, he held up 13. And then obviously
Yeah.
Billy Wagner got announced the Hall of Fame. So he changed his number and cause I thought I saw it, yeah, to 8.
Yeah.
Does it say on the roster yet about Brendan Rodgers? I guess he hadn't officially made the team yet, but with
Right now,
Gamilme going down, he's going to.
can we just call him like Guillermo? Because
That's fine.
that's the guy that's the on whatever late night show that's kind of a comedian. He makes me
Hmm.
laugh. His number, by the way, is 0. Brendan Rodgers ended up in 54.
Okay, yeah, that'll change. Cam Smith was wearing 90, so that'll
Yes,
change.
yes, he is the defensive end that he looks like.
He
Uh,
does. He wore 24 at Florida State, I believe.
I don't know that that's taken, is it? Am I missing 24 somewhere in the big picture?
25 is obviously retired. Is 24 not? Because no one ever wears it for the
Yeah,
Astros. I have a feeling if I was to bet,
I like this.
if he makes the team, if 24 is open, that'll be the I'm sure. I mean, just that's what he wore at Florida State. I don't know. But if 24 is, there hasn't been a 24
I,
and an Astro in forever.
I don't see one. I can't think of one either.
Was that Jimmy Wynn?
Mm. Now you're gonna make me dig.
Yeah, dig for a second. 24 is, I think, retired.
Is he up
I
in
want to
the
say, yeah, I want to say it's Jimmy Wynn up in the rafters. And I'm then nothing from, I'm fully guessing.
dude, you might be right. This is why the old yes, Jimmy Wynn, number 24.
Yeah, that's what I knew it was. I knew it was retired. I was trying to put it together.
Yeah. This is
So
back when we
I'm
did player of
yep,
the
I know, and we need to
throwback.
get back on that. I'm gonna make two predictions.
Okay.
He's either gonna wear 23. That is Dave Clark wears that right now on the coaching staff. I bet Dave Clark would be willing to give that up, especially to a kid that's made the team. Or he's going to wear 22 that Hayward wore. 22s
Mm.
should be available.
Yep, you're on it.
That would be my prediction.
That's crazy. Stupid stuff that
Now, what does Brendan Rodgers wear? That's, I would
yeah.
say 1 and 4 are available. I guess 2's available.
What was Tucker's number?
30.
Yeah. Mm.
He wore 3 when he got called up, but then he switched to the next year to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my prediction. We'll see. 22 or 23.
It's fun to think about.
It is. We'll know Wednesday, hopefully. Um, what are thoughts before we kind of
Hey,
talk roster? I want to see how close we get to this. It's just my prediction. But I mean, as we talked about a couple times, they're leaking stuff out, so you can kind of start putting people in pieces. That's kind of where the roster is
yeah.
gonna.
So really it boils down to probably two spots. One pitcher and is it Cam Smith? One
Well,
re
Dezenzo, Cam Smith,
the
Dezenzo.
Zenzo's in. I mean, who
Yeah,
else is it?
probably. It's weird. He's in, but he's not. He's not going to pencil in as a starter. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, but I mean, you got to have, I mean, he's a backup first baseman. I mean, I know Dubon and
I agree
Caratini
with you.
and
I think
Diaz.
I think
Yeah.
he should be on the roster.
Yeah, I think he's the guy. Um, I guess backup shortstop is anywhere between Rogers and Dubon.
Dubon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's I see it as two spots. We need one more relief pitcher, and then
I mean,
Whether Cam Smith makes it.
well, I mean, I'm gonna say it, and this is my dude, but I'm also gonna say it. I mean, is Chaz completely safe? I mean,
Initially,
yeah,
initially,
probably. He's probably done enough to start. Yeah, to
initially.
start safe.
But there's I mean, it's not like he's had the greatest spring either.
No, he has not.
So it's I mean, hell, they sent them down last year. You know.
When it injury, but it was rehab for injury
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I
because
just
he missed a bunch of time.
hopefully hopefully he can piece it together.
Yeah,
And
we need him to step up.
Myers too. I mean,
Exactly. My issue is there's so many people that need to step up.
yes,
You're going to get some that will, and you're going to get some that aren't.
it'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. So it's a little yeah, and we said there's question marks. Golly, there's question marks and I think you said we're gonna talk about predictions on the next podcast, but
Yeah. So they have a weird schedule to start. They
yeah,
play the Mets Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I mean, there's
They're
nothing like starting off the season against your former rival, NL rival. But that's weird because they play him in the spring all the time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
They're off
off
Sunday.
Sunday.
They
Yeah,
stay in Houston, and then the Giants and Verlander come to town for 3.
yeah. What's the deal with starting off NL back to back?
Yeah, weird.
I mean, it's weird. Um, but
So
no,
I would say 3 games are no big deal, and I think we go do some over and unders, season predictions, and all that in the next episode. Hopefully the leprechaun cowboy can get off his bull
man,
or
no,
mutton busting, and then we can
thank you.
have him next Sunday.
Just for a second, have a visual image of him mutton busting. That's pretty rotten.
I have too many visual images of him over the years. Hard pass.
He'll appreciate us
Yep.
discussing
You
him.
know,
And
we haven't even talked Yanier.
yeah,
I mean, we brought him up. Obviously, he's the starting catcher. That's a guy that needs, by our expectations, probably had a down year at the plate.
yeah. I mean,
We thought he could do more. Maybe he gets back. I mean, we need him. We need him producing. I mean, he's probably going to hit behind Jordan and Walker. He needs to produce because
you
he's,
want you want to talk about lineup construction
well,
here?
we can. I can tell you what I want, but that doesn't mean they're going to do it. But my lineup's going to involve Cam Smith.
We'll wait then.
Yeah, because Wednesday's when it's announced.
Yeah, we'll wait on that because that's a man, that's a 50-50 deal. I mean, and
Do you want me
he's
to tell you the best lineup? I'll do this. This isn't going to happen, so we can talk about this.
okay.
The best lineup in current construction is Altuve at second base, Isak Paredes at third, Jordan DHing, Christian Walker at first, Yonner Diaz catching,
5 hole,
Cam Smith
6,
right field, Dezenzo in left,
7,
Jeremy Pena at shortstop,
and
Jake
then
Myers in center.
McCormick, yeah, and Myers and whoever.
That's the best lineup.
Offensively, yeah. Maybe overall.
It might be overall.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Why is this not on the table? Why is this not on the table?
and that's what I'm saying about him playing Altuve playing left field. It just went from this like, yeah, he's doing this for
Well,
Breggy,
we
and
know
then
he's got a defensive metrics that are bad at second base. Do you think they're going to be good in left field? They're not.
exactly, exactly, and I don't know. I have no idea where that came from. And that blows my freaking mind. Like
Well, I
why
think we
why it
do.
stayed. Why it
There you go.
stayed a thing.
There you go.
Why it stayed.
Yep.
Um,
The second Bregman signed with the Red Sox. It needed to be done.
Blow it away. But they kept this charade up, and that's what I don't understand. I don't know. And you hinted at like yes, Bryce Matthews 2026, he's your starter, hopefully.
Well, that's the plan.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Uh and so are we without waving the white flag? Are we waving the white flag?
I don't know, but if we're not in contention and we don't trade Fromber, we're idiots.
No,
That's 3 prospects back.
I agree. I agree.
I'll tell you another thing. You trade Caratini.
If we're out, yes. Yeah.
He will get you a prospect. He'll get you a solid prospect back because people are going to need catching. They're going to need left-handed hitting catching.
And solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
No,
Um,
that's 4 prospects right there.
who who is the third catcher?
Cesar Salazar.
He's not listed.
I think he's already been. I mean, he's played a bunch. He had a grand slam walk off against the Yankees in the spring.
Okay. So I don't even see him Is he on our 40 man?
I
Yeah,
think they. I
there
think
he is.
they.
Okay,
I
he's
think
there.
they. Yeah, they've.
Okay,
I think. Yeah.
my bad. Yep. Okay. Well, I can deal with that because I was looking at all
I
of
know
our.
we're. I know we're getting where we talked about last year, right? But I'm just saying, like, there's a thin. Can we? Yeah, and we'll talk about season predictions next episode next Sunday. Can we? Yes. Will we? I don't know. But it's a thin. There's just not the depth that we normally have, right? And but that was expected, at least in my eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
you
What was the
send Jake Myers and get a prospect back because he will be valuable to a team that can hit that needs a defensive center fielder.
what was the guy from Sam that we drafted?
Walker Yannick.
Yeah. So he wasn't invited,
He was up there some.
was he?
Yeah, he was a non-roster invitee. He that's who I'm watching him. Bryce Matthews, Colton Gordon, Ethan Pecco. Um,
I'm just looking at catchers.
yeah, there's not much,
Yeah, I don't
but
see.
he's the next one. You're hoping he develops where you can eventually play Diaz at first more to save his legs and save his bat. But you're probably thinking
After
you're
in with
hope
Christian Walker.
well, yeah, but you're hoping Walker Yannick is probably ready to go 27.
Yeah. Get behind get behind Jan Air for a year.
Yep.
Because we've got Christian Walker for how long?
3. Great
Yeah.
contract. At least we
Yeah.
think it's a great contract.
Fair. Um, so yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like this year, next year, the end of the Walker's last year, Diaz, Walker in and out, back and forth, and
Yep.
hopefully transition.
You have to save the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been through that before. Yeah, okay. Well, that's
Anything else anything you want to discuss before we wrap this one up, and then
no, I'm
we'll have actual baseball Thursday, and then we'll see. I mean, it'll be. I'm assuming it's going to be Fromber, Brown, Aaron Getty. It could be Fromber, Brown, Blanco. I
I'm
guess.
I'm looking. Um Give me just a second. That's where I'm headed. Because they leave today. They play the Space Cowboys tomorrow. Blanco is pitching. Then on Tuesday they play him again. Blue Blah is pitching. So then you've got Fromber's announced versus Clay Holmes.
Interesting. A closer that signed with the Mets in the offseason, and he signed with the Mets because they gave him a bunch of money, but also they wanted to make him a starter. That's going to be interesting.
That'll be his first one. And then Friday. So this is also interesting. Friday, the Mets and nor Astros haven't announced anyone. Saturday, the Astros have not announced anyone, but the Mets have. Griffin Canning. I don't know what that's about.
Former Angel that we've seen a bunch.
Yep. But it's just weird. Why are you
Yeah.
announcing the third one,
Hmm.
but not the second day? So I don't know what that's about. So I'm with you. My guess is Hunter Brown then Arrighetti. Or would you think
I
something
would.
different?
Um,
I mean
that's what I.
Blanco.
Yeah, I mean, I could see, but I mean, I would probably do that.
Yeah, I mean it's 50-50. I could
Aaron Getty through today.
So today's
So
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, I mean Friday. No, yeah,
no,
Friday. Yeah, it'd be
no
Friday.
Saturday.
No,
No,
Saturday. Yeah, you're right.
Brown would be Friday.
Yeah, I mean it's Who knows?
Well, I guess the next news is we'll know, we'll have the finalized roster, see if Cam Smith makes it. I'm hoping he does.
I think again, I mean, you've got the case of clock and all that kind of stuff. Blah, blah. I mean, I don't want to just go all in just because of what I would call a handful of at bats,
That's 100% fair.
right? But does the dude have it? Boy, it looks like it.
Well, let me tell you what this, and I'm with you. You're right. Springs, there's people that go in there and
Yeah,
hit 450, and you never hear from them again. And there's people that bat 100 and end up hitting 330 for the year. I mean, you don't need to put, and they don't, man. They look at bats, they got all the
sure.
analytics, all this stuff. But when I see him out there, he looks different than all the other guys. He looks like a unicorn,
Boy,
meaning he looks like a physical specimen, an athlete. I mean, the rest of I mean, we are jags out there.
it, it's gross. I mean, and I think I said this on the last pod that I did not realize that this dude is a monster, like physical monster. I mean,
You know how sick, how much of a
six
sicko
three,
I
two
am.
twenty. Talk to me.
Yeah, and I think I bet he's pushing 6'4", 235, 240. But I don't know. We'll see. You know how much of a sicko I am.
Talk to me.
I watched every one of his at bats last year at Florida State.
You went back and watched.
I did. Now it took a while, right? I've done it piece by piece, but yeah, monster.
Yeah. I, I, I I mean, when you say, okay, Jordan right now is 6'4", 237.
6'5".
I'm just
They haven't
telling you,
listened.
6'4", 237 is what's on the on online. And you say, okay, so Cam Smith, 6'3", 224. Go back 5 years. What was Jordan listed as? Probably 6'3", 224.
Probably, yeah.
And this guy is going to, I mean, he is, what are we? He was born in, oh my gosh, he was born in
I know.
03. So, uh, I mean, so what, 22 years old? Yeah. Yeah. That's, again, I don't hate it. I mean, if he's on the roster, I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
We need the energy. We need the pop. We need the athleticism. I
It sounds
can't
familiar.
exactly. I can't watch McCormick and Myers in the same outfield. I can't do it. I can't.
You're going to see it some.
Hopefully, very little.
Yeah. Well, if we start off as atrocious as we started off last year, I don't know that we have it in us to rebound. You know,
I agree with you.
I mean,
I agree.
we don't have the Bregman, we don't have the Tucker to go. These guys are proven. They're going to come around.
That's another pod, but that's a great talking point. Who is going to take Bregman's role?
Yeah. Maybe Christian Walker.
Could could
It may have to be, but unfortunately, he hasn't, you know, I don't know if he's been in Florida to be
very
around
little.
and be in the
You
clubhouse and
got
be
you got you think about the guys that have cut their teeth. You got Jordan, super
Mhm.
quiet, right? He lets his bat do the talking. You've got Altuve, who's the elder statesman, who's by every means possible is the heart and soul, right? But
Right.
he's not the in your face.
No, he's not.
We're not taking this crap. This is the Astros way.
Yeah,
That's going to be real. Who is that guy?
we're 1 year at a time losing guys who have
Yeah,
rings.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um, I would. It is an interesting clubhouse dynamic, unlike the quote unquote golden years. So it's different.
All right, well, let's wrap this one up, man.
Yep.
That we're right about an hour. We'll we've got some baseball to watch this week, which is awesome. New season is here. It'll be. I mean, there'll be a lot of questions. It's a long season. It's a grind. So let's see where it takes us. Hopefully, we'll get some good news Wednesday, and I think he's going to make it. But we talked about it. We'll see, right? We'll have a talking point either way.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
We will have this out when our leprechaun finally gets back on planet. We'll have this out into the intrawebs. And with that being said, go Stros. Season is here.
Go Stros.